The galaxy had grown quiet. Too quiet. Even the oldest stars seemed to pause in their burning, and planets rotated with a strange, almost nervous slowness. Across the vast expanse of space, the alien fleets, once proud and confident, shifted uneasily. Rumors of a new force had begun to spread, whispers that tickled the edge of fear in every alien system. Yet no one knew what it was, or where it had come from. On the outer edge of the Andromeda expanse, a lone scout ship glided silently between the shadows of asteroids. Its metal hull was scratched, battered from countless journeys, but its engines hummed with a quiet, confident power. Inside, Commander Lyra Dane's eyes scanned the monitors, sharp and unblinking. She had heard the rumors too. Something was coming. Something powerful. Something human. The sensors blinked. A distant signal pulsed through the void. Not alien. Not mechanical. Human. The scout crew exchanged nervous glances. Lyra leaned forward, her fingers tracing the glowing holographic map. "It's not just a rumor," she whispered. "They are coming. And they are not alone." Meanwhile, light years away, on the surface of a hidden research planet, humanity's greatest minds worked in silence. They did not speak of weapons, of war, or of conquest. They only spoke of survival. The planet's atmosphere crackled with energy as massive starships were assembled in secret hangars, their engines humming like caged beasts ready to strike. Each ship carried the weight of humanity's pride, but also its fear. Earth had been attacked before, but this time, humanity would not wait to be destroyed. In orbit, the Dreadnoughts stood like colossal shadows against the cold light of a distant sun. Their metal glinted, black and unyielding, each one a fortress capable of erasing entire fleets. Pilots ran pre-flight checks, their hands steady but their hearts racing. For centuries, humans had been underestimated, written off as weak, predictable, and harmless. Now, every alien intelligence that had dismissed Earth was about to learn a brutal truth. Back on the scout ship, Lyra's communication panel crackled. A coded message from the High Council flashed across the screen. "Do not engage. Observe. Report. Humanity is unpredictable. Caution is advised." Lyra's jaw tightened. Observe? Report. They had always underestimated humans. And now, she realized, that might be the greatest mistake of all. Far below, on a small moon orbiting a gas giant, a young engineer named Kale hurried along the corridors of a massive human dreadnought. Sparks flew from machinery as he adjusted the final systems of the ship's main engines. "All systems green," he said to no one, though the ship's AI beeped in acknowledgement. He paused, staring at the vast blackness beyond the reinforced windows. Stars twinkled, distant and cold, but something felt different. The air was thick with tension, almost alive. Kale shivered. He had grown up hearing stories of humans fighting impossible odds, but he had never imagined being part of the first strike. Not yet. Suddenly, alarms screamed across the human command bridge. Red lights flashed. "Incoming signal," the AI announced. The screen lit up with the view of the scout ship from Andromeda. Its crew stared back, frozen in disbelief as a human dreadnought slowly emerged from hyperspace. Its shadow stretched across the void, immense and terrifying. "They have arrived," whispered Kale, gripping the edge of the console. On the alien scout ship, Lyra's voice was barely audible. What is that?" The dreadnought moved with impossible speed, cutting through space like a blade of darkness. Sensors could barely keep up. Every calculation, every prediction, failed. Humanity had arrived, but not as anyone had expected. They were not fragile, they were not weak, they were unstoppable. Somewhere in the council chambers of an alien empire, the oldest strategist leaned back in his chair. His eyes were wide with fear. "We have ignored them for too long," he muttered. "And now, there is nothing we can do. The galaxy will shake." The silence of space shattered as the human dreadnought activated its engines fully. A deep, resonating hum filled the void, vibrating through every ship, asteroid, and planet nearby. It was a sound of power, of inevitability, and of revenge long waited for. Light flared as the ship prepared to jump, a silent promise to the galaxy. The era of underestimating humanity was over. As the scouts scrambled to escape, Lyra felt a sinking feeling deep in her chest. Humanity was no longer a story in a history book. Humanity was a force, a living storm, and the galaxy would soon learn that some legends were far more terrifying than anyone could imagine. And in that instant, as stars burned and shadows grew, one truth became horrifyingly clear. The galaxy had expected silence. But Earth's dreadnoughts had just cast their shadow. The shadow of the human dreadnought stretched across the void, and every alien scout, every observation post, trembled at its presence. Commander Lyra Dane's hands shook on the control panel. She had seen many battles, many threats, but nothing like this. Humanity had arrived not with words, not with diplomacy, but with power that made the galaxy's bravest commanders pause in fear. On board the human dreadnought, Captain Ilara Voss walked the bridge with calm precision. Every console beeped in harmony, engines thrummed, and the crew moved like a single living organism. She glanced at Kale, who was still monitoring the ship's engines. "All systems ready?" she asked. Kale nodded, though sweat ran down his temple. "Ready, Captain. Weapons online. Shields stable." Ilara's eyes scanned the holographic map of the nearby systems. Alien fleets were scattered, unorganized, and unaware of the full extent of what they faced. "It's time," she said softly. Her voice carried a quiet authority that made even the most nervous officer straighten their posture. Humanity had always been underestimated. Now, they would show why. Far away, in the command chambers of the alien High Council, alarms screamed. Holograms of the human dreadnought flashed red, moving closer to the outer colonies. Council members argued, shouted, and waved their hands in panic. "They are faster than we thought," one screamed. "Our fleets cannot hold them." But one elder remained silent. His long, pale fingers tapped on the edge of his chair. "You all thought humans were weak," he said quietly, almost to himself. "You thought they were a simple species, bound by fear. You forgot. They are unpredictable. And unpredictability can be stronger than any fleet." Back in space, the human dreadnought glided through the void like a shadow of doom. Its cannons hummed quietly, waiting, hungry. Smaller human ships flanked it, fighters sleek and fast, ready to strike with precision. Every move was calculated but not robotic. There was a human intuition, an instinct for survival that no alien system could fully predict. Lyra's scouts scrambled, trying to warn their fleets. "They are attacking," she shouted into the comms. "They are moving faster than we can track. Initiate defensive formation." But it was too late. The first wave of human fighters darted like meteors through the darkness, striking with pinpoint accuracy. Alien ships exploded in a burst of fire and metal. Even the most advanced alien defenses could not anticipate the human tactics, which twisted unpredictably, avoiding every trap. On the bridge of the dreadnought, Ilara watched the destruction unfold. She did not smile. There was no joy in this. Every life taken, every explosion, reminded her that humans fought not for glory, but for survival. Her ancestors had been underestimated for centuries, and now, for the first time, humanity was reclaiming its place among the stars. Kale's voice broke through the tense silence. "Captain, the sensors detect a massive fleet approaching from the Ceres sector. They're trying to flank us." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Let them come. Let them see what humans are capable of." She pressed a few buttons, sending orders that seemed chaotic but were deadly precise. The human fleet shifted, weaving through space like a predator. Alien ships charged, expecting an easy fight, but instead, they found themselves trapped in a net of human strategy. Meanwhile, Commander Lyra realized the horrifying truth. Humanity did not fight like anyone else in the galaxy. Their movements were unpredictable, almost instinctive, yet terrifyingly efficient. Her own fleet began to falter, losing ships faster than reinforcements could arrive. "Retreat! Fall back!" she ordered, but her voice trembled. She had never faced anything like this. On one of the human fighters, a young pilot named Jaren zoomed past the shattered remnants of alien ships. He laughed, not out of cruelty, but from a strange exhilaration. "They didn't even see us coming," he shouted to his squad. His hands danced over the controls as he dodged a missile and fired back with deadly precision. Every strike was perfect, but every movement carried a human unpredictability that left the enemy reeling. As the battle raged, the galaxy began to feel a tremor, a whisper of fear that spread faster than any communication. News of humanity's power traveled across light years in seconds. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. For centuries, they had endured, survived, and grown stronger. Now, every species in the galaxy would learn the same lesson: never, ever doubt humanity. The battle ended abruptly. Alien ships fled in disarray, their formation shattered, their confidence broken. The human fleet hovered in the void like a shadow of inevitability, engines still thrumming, weapons ready. Silence returned, this time, not the quiet of space, but the silence of fear. Captain Elara Voss looked at her crew. "This is only the beginning," she said. Her voice was calm, almost serene. "Humanity has waited long enough. Now, we make our move." Far away, in the remnants of the alien fleet, Commander Lyra Dane stared at the stars, her heart heavy with a mix of fear and awe. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy had no choice but to pay attention. And somewhere, in the hidden depths of human space, more dreadnoughts stirred, waiting, ready, hungry for the challenge that the galaxy had foolishly ignored for far too long. The galaxy had begun to whisper humanity's name. Across star systems, aliens who had once dismissed Earth now trembled at every report, every flicker on their monitors. The first battle had ended, but the war was far from over. Humanity's dreadnoughts were only the beginning. Captain Elara Voss stood on the bridge of the flagship Valiant, staring at the holographic map. Red dots marked enemy positions, scattered, confused, and fearful. Blue dots marked her fleet, sleek and precise, moving like a predator through the void. She did not smile. Victory was never about pride. It was about survival. And survival demanded strategy, speed, and ruthlessness. "Captain," Kale said, pointing at the sensors. "We've detected multiple alien fleets gathering near the Zephyr cluster. They are trying to regroup. We could strike now, or wait for reinforcements." Elara's eyes narrowed. "We do not wait. The galaxy believes humans are slow, weak, and cautious. Let them see how wrong they are." The fleet jumped into hyperspace, moving silently toward the cluster. Alien scouts scrambled to report the approaching ships, but their messages arrived too late. Humanity struck with surgical precision, disabling communications, immobilizing ships, and leaving a trail of controlled destruction. Every action was quick, efficient, and unpredictable. On the alien side, Commander Lyra Dane's fleet tried desperately to form a defensive wall. But every plan she created was countered before it could be executed. Humans moved like shadows, appearing where they were least expected. She had trained for battles like this, studied alien strategies, and yet, nothing prepared her for the raw unpredictability of human tactics. Meanwhile, deep within the Zephyr cluster, human engineers activated new weapons for the first time. Massive energy cannons hummed, their glow illuminating the ship's interiors. Kale watched, his fingers trembling slightly as he calibrated the systems. "This is more power than we imagined," he muttered. "We could take down an entire fleet in one strike." Elara nodded. "And we will. Humanity has survived for centuries, underestimated and dismissed. Today, we show the galaxy why survival made us strong." The attack began. Alien ships were caught in crossfires, their shields failing one by one. Explosions erupted in the darkness, bright against the stars. Pilots moved with deadly grace, humans working together yet independently, each strike coordinated but seemingly spontaneous. Aliens had faced countless foes, but never this combination of precision and instinct. Commander Lyra watched from her bridge as her fleet crumbled. Her mind raced. "We need reinforcements," she barked into the comms. "All units, converge on the Zephyr cluster." We cannot let them destroy everything. But the humans were already gone. Using faster-than-expected maneuvers, they disappeared into hyperspace, leaving only silence and the wreckage of alien pride behind. The galaxy would not forget the speed, the power, or the ruthless efficiency of humanity. Back on Earth, scientists monitored the battle from secure stations. They did not celebrate. Every victory came with caution. Humanity had weapons, yes, but their true strength was intelligence, adaptability, and the willingness to do what others would not. They understood the stakes. Every life lost, every fleet moved, was a step toward survival, but also a warning to those who underestimated them. In the council chambers of the alien empire, panic spread like wildfire. Advisors shouted, strategists argued, and generals pleaded. "We cannot hold them," one cried. "Our fleets are useless against humans." But one voice rose above the chaos, a voice of reason, tinged with fear. "They are more than ships and weapons," the elder said. "They are unpredictability made flesh. They fight with instinct, with courage, with something no calculation can measure. We must rethink, or we will lose everything." Meanwhile, humanity prepared for the next stage. New dreadnoughts were emerging from hidden shipyards, faster, deadlier, more advanced. Pilots trained tirelessly, each mission sharpening their skills, testing their limits. Humans had waited centuries for this moment. Now they would claim it with every ounce of strength they possessed. Kale walked along the corridors of the flagship, pausing to look out at the stars. He could feel the weight of history pressing down on him. They were not fighting for conquest. They were fighting for survival, for a place in the galaxy that had always ignored them. Every starship, every weapon, every strategy was a declaration. Humanity would no longer be overlooked. Captain Alara stood on the bridge, staring into the void. "The galaxy thinks it knows us," she said softly, almost to herself. "They think they understand humanity. They are wrong. And they will learn. The hard way." As the fleet jumped toward its next target, the galaxy trembled. Reports of human strikes spread like wildfire, fear rippling across star systems. Humanity was no longer a quiet presence in the cosmos. They were a force, unstoppable, unpredictable, and ready to shake the stars themselves. Somewhere, Commander Lyra Dane vowed silently, she would not allow humanity to conquer without resistance. She would find a way to fight back. But deep down, she knew the truth. Humanity had grown beyond fear, beyond expectation. And the shadow of Earth's dreadnoughts had only just begun to fall across the galaxy. The galaxy was no longer safe for anyone who underestimated humanity. Alien fleets whispered warnings to one another, but the humans moved faster than anyone could react. Their ships, enormous and deadly, glided through the void like shadows, their presence alone enough to make commanders reconsider every plan. On board the flagship Valiant, Captain Alara Voss studied the next sector on the holographic map. Hidden deep within the Orion expanse was a technology long kept secret, the resonance matrix. It was a weapon unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Massive, powerful, and entirely human-made, it could cripple entire fleets without destroying planets. Humanity had waited for the right moment to use it. That moment was now. "Kale, prepare the resonance matrix," Alara commanded. "We strike not to destroy, but to show them what happens when they dismiss humanity." Kale's hands flew across the controls, energy pulsing through the ship's systems. The matrix hummed with quiet, deadly power, a deep resonance that made the hull vibrate. Engineers checked and rechecked every system. The weapon could not fail. Humanity's message had to be clear: underestimate them no more. Meanwhile, Commander Lyra Dane struggled to coordinate her scattered fleets. She had gathered reinforcements, but the humans always seemed one step ahead. Every time she thought she had predicted their moves, they shifted unpredictably, striking where she least expected. Her fingers drummed on the console in frustration. "We cannot let them reach the Orion expanse," she shouted. "We must block them, destroy them before they reach the matrix site." But the humans were already en route. Small squads of fighters darted ahead, disabling communication arrays and taking down scouting drones. Larger ships moved in precise formations, shielding the dreadnoughts and clearing paths through asteroid fields. Every strike was methodical, yet unpredictable, like a storm no one could contain. On one human fighter, Jaren grinned as he dodged an alien missile. "They still don't understand us," he shouted into his comms. "Every move we make is another lesson for them." His squad laughed, excitement and adrenaline mixing as they weaved through enemy fire, striking with deadly precision. In the Orion expanse, the resonance matrix activated. A low hum grew into a deep vibration that spread across space, sending pulses that disrupted alien shields, weapons, and sensors. Ships trembled as the energy washed over them. Some fled, unable to control their systems. Others exploded silently, torn apart by forces they could not understand. Humanity did not need to fire their main cannons. Their presence alone, powered by technology and ingenuity, was enough to change the battlefield. Commander Lyra's heart sank as she watched her fleet crumble. Her tactical calculations had been perfect, or so she thought. But humans did not follow calculations alone. They used instinct, intuition, and a willingness to do the impossible. How do they do this?" she whispered, staring at the screens. Her entire fleet was faltering, and the humans hadn't even engaged directly yet. Back on the Valiant, Elara observed the destruction silently. "They will survive," she said to Kale, "but they will remember what it means to face humanity." Her voice carried the calm of someone who had fought countless battles and always planned 5 steps ahead. She understood the importance of restraint. Total annihilation was not the goal. Respect and fear, that was the weapon humanity wielded as effectively as any gun. Across the galaxy, whispers grew into panic. Reports from distant systems described the human fleet as unstoppable, unpredictable, and terrifyingly efficient. Every alien species that had once mocked Earth now reconsidered their assumptions. Humanity had remained hidden for centuries, quietly building strength. Now, the galaxy could no longer ignore them. Commander Lyra Dane retreated to a hidden asteroid base to regroup. She stared at the holographic maps of lost fleets and shattered systems. "We underestimated them," she muttered. "We thought humans were fragile, but they are something else. Something dangerous." Her voice was barely audible, but the fear was clear. Humanity had shifted the balance of power. In the aftermath of the attack, the human fleet remained in formation, ready for the next move. Dreadnoughts hummed, fighters idled in tight formations, and the resonance matrix powered down slowly. Humanity had made its point without unnecessary destruction. They had shown the galaxy their power, intelligence, and strategic brilliance. Kale walked along the corridors, watching engineers monitor the systems. "We've made them fear us," he said quietly. "But we are only beginning." Elara nodded. "Fear alone is not enough," she said. "We need the galaxy to understand that humanity will not be dismissed. That we survive, adapt, and conquer obstacles they cannot imagine. Our journey is far from over. The stars will remember this day." Somewhere in the ruins of the Orion expanse, aliens whispered of the humans' brilliance, their determination, and their deadly unpredictability. Humanity had arrived not just as a force, but as a warning. The galaxy had expected silence. Humanity had cast its shadow, and now, the stars themselves seemed to tremble in anticipation of what would come next. The Orion expanse was silent, but the echoes of humanity's power still vibrated across the void. Alien fleets that had survived the resonance matrix attack struggled to regroup, but their confidence was gone. Across the galaxy, commanders whispered of humans as a force unlike any other, intelligent, unpredictable, and terrifyingly efficient. On board the flagship Valiant, Captain Elara Voss reviewed the reports from the latest strike. Each system humanity touched now feared them. Each fleet that had dared oppose Earth had been shattered, confused, and humiliated. But Elara did not celebrate. Humanity's strength was not measured by destruction, but by survival and precision. And she knew that the true challenge was yet to come. "Kale," she said, pointing at a blinking red signal on the map. The aliens are not done. They've hidden a fleet near the Tau Ceti belt. It's massive, and they're preparing something unusual. We need to be ready for anything. Kale's fingers danced across the controls. Unusual? Captain, could it be another weapon like the resonance matrix? Ilara shook her head. I don't know. Whatever it is, they've learned from their mistakes. They will try to fight smarter this time. But humans, we adapt. Meanwhile, Commander Lyra Dane had retreated to the asteroid fortresses of the Tau Ceti belt. Her fleet, though battered, was regrouping. Every alien knew humanity's power now, and fear had driven them to desperate measures. Secret technologies, experimental ships, and untested weapons were brought to the forefront. Prepare for human arrival, Lyra ordered. This time, we will not underestimate them. We have learned. Every strategy, every attack, every move, we anticipate them now. But anticipation alone could not match human unpredictability. As the humans emerged from hyperspace, their fleet moved with a terrifying combination of order and improvisation. Dreadnoughts led the charge, while fighters darted unpredictably, striking weak points that aliens had overlooked. Every move was calculated, yet impossible to predict. The battle began with sudden intensity. Alien ships fired experimental weapons, beams that twisted reality and disrupted navigation systems. For a moment, human ships faltered, caught in the unfamiliar energy fields. But humans adapted instantly. Shields recalibrated, engines compensated, and fighters shifted formations with an almost instinctive fluidity. The aliens were shocked. They had prepared for human tactics, but humans were no longer predictable. On one human fighter, Jaren shouted with exhilaration. They're throwing everything at us. But we're faster, smarter, stronger. His squad moved like lightning, striking alien ships one after another. Explosions lit the dark void, but the humans pressed on, relentless and precise. Deep inside the alien fleet, Lyra realized the horrifying truth. They learn faster than we can react, she whispered. Every new weapon, every new strategy, they adapt immediately. It's like fighting an idea, not a ship. Back on the Valiant, Captain Ilara observed the chaos through the bridge displays. Keep them off balance, she said calmly. Push them further into their mistakes. Do not destroy unnecessarily. The galaxy must understand humans do not just fight, they survive and evolve. Suddenly, a massive shockwave rippled through the battlefield. One of the alien experimental weapons backfired, causing their own fleet to scatter. Human pilots seized the opportunity, striking decisively and disabling the remaining ships. The alien fleet, once thought to be capable of turning the tide, now lay in ruin. Kale exhaled deeply. They tried everything. Every trick, every weapon. And they still failed. Ilara nodded. And they will keep trying. But humanity does not wait for perfection. We act. We adapt. And we endure. Far away, in hidden alien command centers, the news of the defeat spread like wildfire. The Tau Ceti belt, once considered a stronghold, was shattered. Confidence evaporated, replaced by fear and uncertainty. Even the bravest generals could not deny the truth. Humanity had shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. Yet, even in victory, the humans were cautious. Captain Ilara knew this was only the beginning. New threats, hidden technologies, and unknown forces waited in the shadows of space. Humanity's strategy was not reckless conquest, it was preparation for the wars to come. Somewhere in the depths of space, hidden dreadnoughts and unknown weapons stirred. Humanity had proven its strength, but the galaxy was vast, and there were secrets yet to be uncovered. The next battle would test humans in ways no one could predict. Captain Ilara looked at the stars through the bridge viewport. The galaxy has learned a lesson today, she said quietly. Never underestimate humanity. And the stars, they will remember our name. And in the silence that followed, the shadows of distant alien fleets whispered of a force growing ever stronger. a species that would not be ignored, and a destiny that would shake the galaxy itself. Humanity had won this battle, but the war, the true war, was only beginning. The galaxy was no longer whispering about humanity, it was screaming in fear. Alien fleets, once scattered and timid, now gathered with a single, desperate purpose: stop the humans before they became unstoppable. The Tau Ceti defeat had shaken confidence across every empire. Humanity had shown power, intelligence, and adaptability far beyond expectation. Now, the aliens were ready to retaliate. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the bridge of the Valiant, calm as ever, watching the stars. Her fleet was larger now, more advanced, but even she understood the danger ahead. Reports indicated that the aliens had amassed an armada near the Proxima cluster, a fleet bigger than any humanity had faced yet. Dreadnoughts, experimental ships, and weapons designed to overwhelm humans awaited. "Kale," she said, pointing at the incoming fleet blips, "this is their response. They've learned from their mistakes. But humans, we don't fear learning. We adapt faster than anyone can imagine. Ready the fleet." Kale's hands moved quickly across the controls. All systems operational. Weapons charged. Shields at maximum. "Captain, this will be their most dangerous attack yet." Ilara nodded. "Then it's the perfect time to show them why humans survive and endure." Meanwhile, Commander Lyra Dane had gathered every surviving ship from the outer sectors. Alien generals conferred nervously as experimental weapons were armed, energy beams charged, and fleets positioned in intricate formations designed to trap the humans. Every calculation was double-checked. Every prediction scrutinized. But Lyra knew that even with all this preparation, the humans were not predictable. They were unpredictable by nature, and that was terrifying. As the human fleet emerged from hyperspace, the Proxima cluster lit up like a battlefield from legend. Dreadnoughts moved in formation, but fighters darted unpredictably, striking weak points, and disrupting the alien formations before the larger ships could respond. Every move was fast, precise, and unexpected. Lyra barked orders, trying to compensate for the humans' fluid tactics. Flank them. Hit their engines. Target their shields. But the humans had anticipated even this. Jaren's fighter squad darted ahead, weaving through incoming fire. "They're trying to predict us," he shouted over comms. "Let's show them they can't." Explosions erupted across the alien fleet as humans struck critical points, disabling weapons and scattering their formations. Even the new experimental alien weapons failed against the humans. Shields recalibrated instantly, engines compensated, and fighters moved as if they knew the enemy's every step before it happened. Humanity's adaptability, their instinct, and their intelligence had created a battlefield no alien could control. On the bridge of the Valiant, Ilara observed the chaos calmly. "Do not overextend," she said. "They want a mistake. We give them none. We fight smart. We fight precise. And we survive." Kale adjusted the resonance matrix to a new frequency. "Captain, we can disable their experimental weapons in one pulse," he said. Ilara nodded. "Do it. Let them see that humans do not just respond. We take control." The pulse spread across the cluster, a silent, devastating wave. Alien weapons faltered, shields flickered, and dreadnoughts shuddered. Humans seized the moment, advancing with relentless precision. Ships that had seemed invincible moments ago now struggled to maintain formation. Their pilots panicked as their technology betrayed them. Lyra's voice trembled as she watched the destruction. "Impossible, how do they?" Her words faltered. Humans were learning faster than she could predict, adapting to every new weapon, every new strategy. Every time the aliens thought they had the advantage, it slipped away like water through fingers. The battle reached its climax as humans executed a coordinated strike that disabled half the alien fleet without a single human ship lost. Fighters moved in waves, dreadnoughts followed, and the remaining alien ships fled in disarray. The galaxy had never witnessed such efficiency combined with unpredictability. Back on the Valiant, Ilara looked at her fleet. "Remember this moment," she said quietly. "The galaxy underestimates humans at its own peril. Today, we survive. Tomorrow, we rise even stronger. Kale wiped sweat from his brow. Captain, they will never forget this. Ilara's eyes scanned the stars. No, she said softly. And neither will we. Humanity has only begun to cast its shadow across the galaxy. Every empire that thought us weak will learn, eventually, too late, that humans endure, adapt, and conquer. Somewhere in the broken remnants of the Proxima cluster, Commander Lyra Dane stared at her maps and her shattered fleets. She knew the truth: humanity was unstoppable. They were not just ships and weapons, they were strategy, instinct, and evolution combined into a force no one had expected. And the galaxy, for the first time, truly feared Earth. The humans did not celebrate. They repaired, regrouped, and prepared for the challenges ahead. The war had escalated, and the stakes had never been higher. But for the first time in centuries, humanity's power was known, respected, and feared. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting for what would come next. And somewhere, deep in the heart of human space, more dreadnoughts and hidden fleets stirred, waiting for the moment the galaxy would least expect. Humanity had survived the retaliation. The war was far from over. But one thing was certain: the stars had been shaken, and the shadow of Earth would only grow larger. The galaxy held its breath. Every fleet, every planet, every star seemed to pause as humanity prepared its ultimate strike. Years of waiting, planning, and surviving had led to this moment. The shadow of Earth's dreadnoughts stretched across the void, larger than ever before. Humanity was no longer just a force, it was an unstoppable storm. Captain Ilara Voss stood on the bridge of the flagship Valiant, calm as always. The galaxy's most dangerous fleets were gathered in the Draconis Nebula, a region chosen by the aliens for their final counterattack. It was said to be a trap no human could survive. But humans had never relied on fear, they relied on courage, adaptability, and strategy. Kale, Ilara said, pointing at the holographic map, every enemy ship, every weapon, every fleet, they think they can stop us. They are wrong. Prepare the fleet. Today, the galaxy will remember humanity. Kale nodded, adjusting the resonance matrix for a new sequence. Captain, the energy output is unprecedented. If we use it now, we can disable their entire armada in one pulse. Ilara's eyes narrowed. Then we strike. But do it precisely. The galaxy will see strength, but humanity will not destroy what it does not need to. We fight smart, we fight once, and we end this. Meanwhile, Commander Lyra Dane watched from her flagship. Her fleet was enormous, armed with every weapon the aliens had, but fear had settled in her bones. The humans had proven time and again that they were unpredictable, efficient, and adaptive. Even her most secret strategies had failed. And now, the humans had brought more than weapons. They brought intelligence, instinct, and resolve. They think they can challenge us, Lyra muttered to herself, her claws gripping the console. They have no idea what they are up against, or so I thought. The humans emerged from hyperspace with deadly precision. Dreadnoughts led the charge, cutting a path through asteroid fields, while fighter squads darted unpredictably, striking weak points the aliens had assumed were secure. The galaxy had never seen such coordination, such adaptability combined with raw power. Alien weapons fired, experimental energy beams twisting space, attempting to crush the human fleet. But humans responded instantly. Shields recalibrated, engines shifted, and fighters adapted their paths instinctively. Every move of the aliens was anticipated and countered, not by calculation alone, but by human intuition and adaptability, honed over centuries of survival. Activate the resonance matrix, Ilara commanded. Kale's hands flew across the controls. The energy pulse surged, spreading like a wave through the nebula. Alien shields faltered. Weapons short-circuited. Dreadnoughts shuddered and went silent. Chaos erupted as their carefully arranged fleets became disorganized and vulnerable. Jaren's fighter squadron darted through the wreckage. They still don't understand us, he shouted, firing precisely at weak points. Explosions bloomed around him, but the humans pressed forward, relentless and precise. Commander Lyra realized the impossible truth: humanity had predicted their reactions. Every trap, every ambush, every secret weapon had failed. Humans were more than ships and technology, they were instinct, courage and strategy fused together. The final wave struck. Dreadnoughts targeted the remaining alien capitals with pinpoint accuracy. Fighters flanked and disabled every remaining defense. Within moments, the alien fleet lay in ruin, scattered and broken. The Draconis Nebula, chosen for its strategic advantage, became a graveyard for the most powerful forces the galaxy had ever assembled. Ilara looked at her fleet. "Remember this," she said softly. "We do not fight for pride. We fight for survival, for respect, and for humanity. Today, the galaxy knows our strength. Tomorrow, they will remember it forever." Kale exhaled, relief mixed with awe. "Captain, it's done. Every fleet is defeated." Ilara's eyes scanned the stars. "Not just defeated," she said. "They've learned. They've learned that humanity cannot be ignored, that we endure, that we adapt, and that we rise when the galaxy expects us to fall." Somewhere, Commander Lyra Dane stared at the devastation, her mind reeling. She had underestimated humanity, thought them fragile, thought them predictable. Now, she understood the truth. Humans were unstoppable, not because of technology alone, but because of their will, intelligence and courage. Across the galaxy, survivors whispered of the humans' brilliance. Systems that had once mocked Earth now bowed in cautious respect. Legends of human cunning, bravery, and power spread like wildfire, inspiring both fear and awe. Back on the Valiant, Captain Ilara addressed her crew. "The galaxy has seen what we are capable of. But this is only the beginning. Humanity will not conquer for glory. We survive. We adapt. We rise. And we will continue to do so, wherever the stars take us." The stars themselves seemed to shimmer differently that night. The shadow of humanity stretched across the galaxy, a silent promise. The species that had once been dismissed, underestimated, and ignored now stood as a force no empire could deny. And somewhere, deep in hidden sectors, the next generation of human dreadnoughts prepared, waiting for the challenges yet to come. Humanity had risen. Humanity had survived. Humanity had cast its shadow, and the galaxy would never be the same again.